This is Jeremiah. We're going to finish beauty. This is the end of beauty. A few videos, I don't know how many, but we're going to finish beauty, and we're going to look at, oh, I don't know, we'll probably say this will be, well, we'll put them as we go along. This is beauty, heaven, and purity, and this is the end of beauty, heaven, and purity, or the beauty lessons, okay? And we've emphasized in these videos, for those who have been watching, we're emphasizing beautiful images. We have so many that are online, that I got online and so forth, and you can see some of the free video formats you can get videos from. But they're just wonderful. I've spent a lot of time enjoying these videos. I spent a lot of time really getting into looking at these images. Now I am what they call an amateur artist. Definitely amateur, you might say, but I'm into art a lot. I really enjoy art. I like analyzing things from color, design, shape, and so forth. So, and I hope I brought some of that to the table on those videos where I have a lot of views on the more professional videos from the 101 strings, but we're just happy to just make a contribution, you know, and I'm very happy to have, you know, touched a few lives, you might say, or you can say. You know, we're into quantity, not quality. So, and this is New Covenant, this is Jeremiah. We're finishing beauty today, or these next videos will be beauty, and we're done. And I will refer back to beauty. We have Numbers 1, which is, we have about 20 or so. And of course we have the ability to enjoy beauty in life. And we're emphasizing color, design, art. I will not stop emphasizing these new, my art collection that I have, my own from museum stuff. You know, I take pictures a lot, and I have pictures of artwork and so forth, and I have lots of pictures I've taken myself. I have some very nice cameras which I haven't used recently, but bottom line is I'm going to share with you a lot of images that are paintings and pictures from various resources that are, you know, you can go online and take pictures of all different kinds of things. And of course you want to make sure they're copyright free and so forth. And so we just have lots of images and pictures and high definition stuff, and I think that it is, just to talk about beauty just for a moment here, this is New Covenant, this is Dr. J here. We have our Bible opened up to the law today, which is, I will love thy law and so forth, the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet, which of course is Psalm 119, but you know, we're just enjoying talking about beauty, sharing beauty, and that's what I'm talking about right now. Is a lot of people are going to really enjoy, and that's really what favor means, and that's what I've been emphasizing all year. That favor is not just an intrinsic or an inner character, and we've emphasized a lot of inner character here, and you know. Or as many of you know, we've emphasized a lot of character as beauty. Beauty as character. Good behavior, kind behavior. And we've defined that behavior through our Bible a lot and through scriptures. We're going to do that again right here as we wrap this up. I have about 35 points I want to make. Okay? Then I'm going to shut down. on beauty for this year. Once again, we will be referring back to it, but I want to talk about beauty just for a moment here. Beauty is something whereby that a lot of people think that Christianity is not related to beauty because a lot of Bible teachers have not taken the time to share how much the Bible talks about beauty. They have a tendency to want to talk about things that are related to punishment, or recently it's the beast on the web right now. Everything is the beast this and the beast that, and I think that's unfortunate. It doesn't mean it's bad. We can learn from everybody who is on track, but I think it's sad that they're not emphasizing beauty and color and design and things of this nature. I will not emphasize this ever again. It will be a reference point, but I thought it was a very good idea, and I know that the Lord is with me on this, to give out a lot of these new, beautiful, high-definition pictures to show you, for those of you especially who can't travel, to show you that God created a beautiful world, and it's yours when you come to Jesus Christ. That's been one of the main points we've been making here, is that what you're looking at in all these high-definition images and this beauty is, you're getting something that's yours. See, that's one of the main things I want to bring home, because we're done. I have to get into a lot of things for next year. We have a lot of issues here, a lot of Bible study plans I have for you. I just went to 22 in the Matrix, which is bless the Father and so forth. We already looked at that in Psalm 103 and so forth already this year, and I have another one planned right now for number 22, which is bless the Lord and so forth. And what does the word blessed mean and so forth, which is a deep subject. And you go at that subject one component at a time. I'm going to have to start enumerating some of these subjects a little. I already have some of them enumerated already, but so that we don't get confused, because what's one of the worst things about Bible study, where people don't organize things, is that people get confused, and we don't want that here. When people try to combine ideas and are all over the place, it's no good for everybody involved. It takes a lot of discipline for someone to have a nice ordered perspective on Bible study, and it takes a lot of work and time, and that's why I haven't even exceeded sound doctrine yet. I have not exceeded basic sound doctrine in this ministry in terms of going to. I just looked at David and Goliath and looking at Samuel and so forth and all of this, and it's just a lot of work, and we're going to finish. And next year, of course, I'll be broadening out. However, what's so wonderful about this particular stage in the Bible studies that we have in these videos is we have a structure, and we're building even more of a matrix so that you always know where you are. Or you generally know where you are, and that's the goal here. And I've had Bible study here. We had Bible study here years ago with a Baptist church, which I was affiliated with, a very nice Baptist church, and I had a Bible study group, and they were very knowledgeable gentlemen. One of the gentlemen was a teacher of K through 12, and so forth, and I had the under shepherd responsibility, not so much because I knew much more than the other brethren, but because I was probably a little more energetic. But here's the point. The point is that we're here to get organized here, and I'm very happy with this. This is a very wonderful time. And as I just mentioned, I don't want to get you lost or me lost here, but beauty was here to show you that this is what Christianity really is. Beauty has a lot to do with Christianity, a whole lot. And when we look, we're going to close right now on, I'm going to probably call this, I already put this down. I put this down as beloved. And I changed it and I went back to it again. I can't write that down right now, but this is going to be the last segment of beauty. and I'm probably going to call this beloved, okay? Beloved. And beloved means that you're loved. Okay? You exist as someone who is loved. Be means to exist. To exist as someone who is loved is the whole essence of this whole ministry. Now, what we're getting into right now is getting into some poetry from Solomon and so forth that reveals this love, that shows this love, that demonstrates, that experiences this love. And that's why you're called beloved, okay? But don't get confused. We only have a few items here so far. One of them is one of the main reasons for having these beauty lessons is to point out the fact that Christianity is an offering whereby that you're going to own beauty forever and light and color. And I have been hammering that home off and on all year long. That life is color, light, and beauty. That's what life is. It doesn't mean that life is not character and emotion and so forth. This year's emphasis is not marginalizing or negating and pushing away inner qualities and love and stuff. No, it's just that you and I both need to go through our Bibles and take a lot of time out, take our time and go through the beauty aspects of Christianity, such as heaven itself, such as the gifts you're going to get. They're going to be beautiful. So why not do that? It doesn't make any sense for us to sit back and talk about everyone's going downstairs, the beast, and all we talk about is discipline, all the time, or we talk about all of these things. And as a matter of fact, some people might even be a little disturbed by the fact that I have qualified beauty here quite a few times, that there is no beauty without discipline. However, to talk about discipline all the time without beauty, that's not proper Christian teaching. It's not. That's why God gave you the book of Revelation, and he gave you chapters 2 and 3, where he tells you beautiful things that you're going to experience. The same thing goes for Song of Solomon here, which I'm getting ready to get into momentarily. Okay, we greet you in the only name given amongst men. And so far today, the only thing that I've shared with you is that this is the end of a big, heavy emphasis on beauty. Now we're going to get into some poetry and the beauty of poetry and the beauty of being beloved and the intimacy of being loved and cared for. And how beautiful this is. And how we can't divorce it from actual physical beauty, such as light, color, sparkle, gems. That's been the big enchilada this year. And also, another deal here, another big part of this is the ability to enjoy this. And this is very significant. Let me share this with you before we get going. Another big point of this whole year's deal is the ability to appreciate things. In other words, I was talking with someone here a couple of years ago, and they told me, you smell the roses. That's the point. You can appreciate things that you drive by. You can't have a drive-by with beauty. You didn't experience the beauty. God's Spirit comes into you so that you can learn to get the most out of the least. That's my point. One person sees a flower and they move on. Another person sees a flower and it becomes a part of them. That's generally based upon, if not entirely based upon, having God in you, Emmanuel. You need to be born again. You need to go back to the Garden of Eden where you appreciated things before you got lost. Coming back to Jesus brings you back to the place where you appreciated and saw everything clearly. When you heard music, you enjoyed the music instead of just listening and going wow and moving on and having some sort of superficial existence. Christianity catapults you away from a superficial existence, and that's why I have all of these beautiful images here, because a lot of people who are born again, they're going to see that this new life they have has a lot to do with beauty and an appreciation for things that you didn't have before. Boots on the ground. Okay? You just don't experience a circus anymore. You have joy now. So that's been another big thing this year that I have pushed home, that new character comes from Christ, and that character gives you the ability to engage beauty and really enjoy it. A lot of people in the world think that they are enjoying life. I think we're going to make that 48 on our matrix. 48. The world says everything is great. That's number 48. Well, they're not experiencing really anything at all. On a scale of 1 to 2, you got number 1. And you're jumping up and down because you got number 1. And what you don't realize is that 10 is available in Jesus Christ. That's been one of the main points of this entire year, and that we'll continue to remand, or to charge you, to remind you to understand that that's what this is about. It's aggrandizement. You no longer are in some sort of tunnel trying to enjoy things. You're now open and you are free to experience things in a full measure. That's the point. That's what I have all these high definition images, and that's why we're getting back to hymns now. Because, see, America is a fallen country. But there are some people who are not going to fall, and there are some people who are going to get up. And those people are going to go to the hymns, and they're going to go back to Quaker Pilgrim life. And they're going to experience beauty in life in its fullest extent. That's why I've been doing what I'm doing. There's a method to all of this, and there's a goal, and we're achieving that goal. It's part of actualization. For me to put on images recently of children and babies a lot, and talking about these new images they have of children in the womb and so forth, and expressing that in color and images, and with scriptures from David and so forth, talking about being formed and wonderfully made. What we're doing is we're creating actualization, not just for people who are fallen away, but for everybody, people who are standing up. It doesn't matter. Everyone needs invigoration. Everyone needs truth. Everyone needs a revitalization. And the images I have on Love in the Womb is the segment that just went up. Now we're going into Beloved, and we're going to finish, and we will refer to these alphanumerics next year. And the introduction to beauty is the ability to enjoy it. It's a broad concept, but I just gave you a subtext or a paratext to the ability to appreciate beauty based upon being born again. Someone goes to a circus, they're excited, and they're very, very happy. And that's good if they're happy in general. However, when you come to church and the Lord touches you, you're not on the scale of 1 anymore. You're on 9 and 10 when it comes to happy. There's no comparison between number 1 and 10. It's the difference. The difference is absolutely amazing, isn't it? I had a number 1 happy moment in my life. I'm a rodent on a wheel in a cage, and I'm happy about what I'm doing, but I'm not going anywhere. But I'm happy about the wheel turning, and I'm basing my life on my effort. So my effort is my life. Looking at what I have accomplished in my efforts and my fortune and glory is, I live in Indiana. They had the movie Indiana Jones where he had fortune and glory is what he wanted. Well, he's on a rodent cage. He's in a rodent cage. His fortune and glory is only going to go to level 1 when it comes to excitement. But if he would have sought God's glory and the fortunes that come on the Lord's day, then he would have been wise and he would experience joy unspeakable that the New Testament and the Bible talk about. Joy unspeakable, which is the difference between someone who is not born again and someone who is born again. I get conversations from people all the time telling me that they are experiencing life and so forth. And I used to watch TV a lot when I was young, and they had so many commercials about this is your life, and I did it my way, and California Highway, and all it was a ceiling of number 1. That's all it was. Because until Christ is inserted, it will always be number 1, and the ceiling is there, and the ceiling is permanent. And that's getting a little philosophical here, but it's biblical. It's friendly knowledge. That's what philosophy means. Philosophy means logic that you have decided that you want to own. And the logic that I own is biblical logic, and that makes it real logic. That makes it simple, pure math that you can't argue with. It's a pillar that's there whether you like it or not. That's the point. And the thing is that let's let that go. We can keep going into how some people, and I talk to them on the phone, I'll counsel people, and I don't counsel that much anymore at all, but I was counseling way back, and one of I shared with this lady, I said, you know what, you're in a cage and you'll never leave your cage. You're basing your life based upon having moments of egotistic endeavors, and then you're bummed out, you're depressed, and it's a roller coaster, and you're like in a roller coaster in a cage, and the ceiling is low. That's what's going on. And you're telling me all of this, and I'm telling you that you left Daddy at the grocery store. A lot of Americans have left Father at the grocery store. Their car's full of animals and toys and music, but they left Father at the store, and eventually they're going to realize that their life is challenged, and that their life is a roller coaster, and they'll never have deep joy. It won't happen. And you can talk till you're blue in the face, but until they come to Christ and until they yield and kneel before the Son of the living God at Jordan, at the River Jordan. Jordan is an extremely significant Hebrew word in your Bible, because it means that you have done what's required for you to have joy. That's what it means. God's not going to descend and give you his rest and his joy until you do what you have to do. That's it. And that's go to the Son of the living God. You're going to have to do that. When I talk to people and they don't have a commitment to the Son of the living God, they don't want to participate in helping church activities or anything along these lines of the gifts of the Holy Spirit, helping the elderly or something, and then they're going to tell me that everything is copacetic. And I tell them that, you know what, you go from being depressed to being happy and so forth, and that's the way it's always going to be for you, and ultimately you might lose your soul because Jesus is an austere, loving master. He's very severe at times, and he demands discipline. And the first thing that he demands is for you to acknowledge reality, that you are a sinner and that you need to be sorry for the things that you've done, and you need to open up your mind and your heart to serving the Lord. And if we don't get that far, then we have a non-compliant, non-covenant making child of Adam. And all of the things that go with that, you're going to experience. That's the way it goes. Some of the things I've just mentioned. Let's get to beauty in heaven and purity here. As I give a long introduction here as to what's going on in our world and basic Christianity and how beauty ties in with everything, basically. And that the introduction of beauty is the ability to experience beauty. It's huge. Number one is beauty in terms of experiencing beauty. And number two is, what should your response be to the beauty you've experienced as a human on this mesa? I hear the word planet so much, I almost want to say the word planet. There's no such thing as a planet. It's absolutely ridiculous. The whole word planet is absolutely Babylonian nonsense. Now, let's continue. Beauty, heaven, purity. I was going to enumerate them again as we learn to enumerate the aspects of beauty, but let's move on. I don't want to do that right now. Let's go to beauty, which is koinonia. Koinonia is that the Lord's love is in you, and you're going to share that with other Christian brethren. That's what koinonia means. It means everybody is basically one. And that oneness or that unity is based upon care for one another, and it's not flippant care. Koinonia is tied in with the word agape. It means real, deep, sincere care, and anyone who thinks that you can exist in a non-Christian, non-oida, unrepented realms somehow and experience koinonia, is not going to happen. I'm just looking at the law here in Psalm 119. You have to establish the law of God in order for you to experience joy and happiness and, of course, salvation or life eternal. You have to embrace the law. You have to embrace what is right. You got to put it in your brain. I shall not commit adultery. Thou shalt not commit adultery. That needs to be in your brain. And there's no getting around it. I had a Bible teacher tell me the other day that he can get around it or something. And I go, dude, bro, I think you're lost, and we'll pray for you, but you're really, really having some problems. That's a Bible teacher too, by the way. But no, Jesus said, I did not come to nullify the law. It's kind of like saying, God forgives, so let's just run red lights. That's nonsense. You're a legalistic person because you talk about the law. No, that's nonsense. God is still very serious about adultery, in spite of the fact that people are saved by grace, and you can be forgiven for committing adultery, God still hates it, and you just don't want to be a part of it. That's common sense for a chicken. And when I hear Bible teachers telling me that or whatever, I'm like, whoa, this is not good. No, we're here to establish the law. Now, we teach grace, but we also teach that God still hates sin, and He's not happy with sin. That goes for you too. Oh, it's all forgiven and under the blood and all of this. Well, it is forgiven for the most part, but it doesn't mean it's good or that you are doing something that is flippant, or we don't want to talk about it or think about it anymore. No. It's true that you can be forgiven eternally, and God doesn't know what the mistake you've made. We know that here as general Protestants, but we also know that we teach the fear of sinning. And it doesn't take a rocket science brain to figure out what I just said. That we do teach forgiveness here, but we also teach the fear of sinning. And the Bible teacher was telling me that he basically doesn't have to fear sinning or something. I'm like, dude, I can't believe what I just heard. And I'm going, let's just let it go. And, we pray for people, and I didn't say the guy was worthless or anything. That's not my point. But let's continue with the next video. I'll be right back. This will be Beauty, Heaven, Purity, and this will be Beloved, Part 1, and this will be Beloved, Part 2. Coming up next. As we bounce around a little bit, as we start hammering home some sure points here, as we bounce around quite a bit here, but we have a strong matrix here. Maranatha.